The real reason narcissists keep coming back and deny you final closure. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the space where we talk about the messy, complicated, and often painful reality of relationships. You are probably here because you are staring at a ceiling fan at 2 a.m., wondering what went wrong. You're replaying the last conversation, or the lack of one, over and over in your head like a broken record. It feels like you were reading a captivating mystery novel, and right when you got to the last chapter to find out who did it, someone ripped the pages out and threw the book in a fire. You aren't just hurt. You are confused on a level that makes you question your own sanity. That feeling of incompleteness is agonizing. It's like a physical weight sitting right on your chest. You just want answers. You want to sit down over coffee, have a mature conversation, admit where things went wrong, shake hands, and walk away with some dignity. That is what normal, healthy adults do. But you are realizing by now that you weren't dealing with a normal situation. You are trying to apply the rules of a fair game to someone who flipped the board over and walked away laughing. We are taught from a young age that stories have endings, movies have credits, books have epilogues, and relationships have breakups where people say, "I'm sorry," or "It's not you, it's me." We crave that structure because it helps us file the memory away and move forward. When that structure is denied to us, our brains get stuck in a loop. We remember unfinished tasks much better than finished ones. And right now, your relationship feels like the biggest unfinished task of your life. The first thing we need to get real about is control. For a narcissist, the relationship isn't about connection. It is about power. If they give you closure, if they explain themselves, they are essentially handing that power back to you. They are leveling the playing field. By leaving you in the dark, by ghosting you or giving you vague, nonsensical reasons for leaving, they keep the upper hand. You stay stuck thinking about them, and to them, that is a victory. Imagine you send a text, a long one. You pour your heart out, explaining how you feel, asking for clarity, maybe even apologizing for things you didn't do just to get a response. You see the 3 little dots appear, and then nothing. Or maybe just a K. Or maybe they leave you on red for 3 weeks. You check your phone every 5 minutes. That anxiety you feel? That is exactly where they want you. They are controlling your emotional state without even being in the room. This ties into the concept of supply. Narcissists need constant validation and attention to feel alive. It doesn't matter if the attention is positive, love, praise, or negative, anger, confusion, tears. If you are crying over them, you are feeding their ego. Giving you closure would allow you to heal and move on, which means you would stop providing that supply. They would rather have you hating them and obsessed than indifferent and happy. There is also a deep, dark well of shame involved here. We often think of narcissists as these arrogant, confident people, but that is a mask. Underneath, there is a fragile ego that cannot handle criticism or failure. Admitting that the relationship failed, or that they hurt you, would trigger that shame. It's easier for them to just run away or pretend you don't exist than to face the reality that they are flawed human beings who made mistakes. You might have experienced a moment where you tried to corner them for an answer. You're in the living room, maybe tears are streaming down your face, and you just ask, "Why?" Instead of an answer, you get a word salad. They start talking about things that happened 3 years ago, or they blame your job, or they say you're too sensitive. You walk away from that conversation more confused than when you started. It's a defense mechanism. If they confuse you enough, you'll stop asking the hard questions. Then there's the narrative they have constructed in their head. In their version of reality, they are always the victim or the hero, never the villain. If they sit down and give you honest closure, they might have to admit they were the villain in your story. They can't do that. So, they rewrite history. In their mind, you are the crazy one, the needy one, the one who drove them away. Why would the victim owe the abuser an explanation? This is why they often leave the door slightly ajar. Have you ever noticed that? They break up with you, but they don't block you. Or they say, "Maybe in the future." They keep that line of communication open just enough so that they can come back if their new source of supply runs dry. It's not because they love you, it's because they want to keep you on the shelf, like a toy they might want to play with later. Think about that time they liked your photo on social media 2 months after the breakup. You haven't spoken a word, and suddenly a notification pops up. Your heart skips a beat. You think, "Oh, they miss me. They're thinking about me." No, they are just poking you to see if you are still alive and responsive. It's a test. If you reach out, they know they still have you hooked. It's cruel, it's messy, and it's incredibly manipulative. We also have to talk about emotional permanence. This is a bit technical, but think of it like a toddler playing peekaboo. When you cover your face, the toddler thinks you're gone. Narcissists struggle to emotionally hold on to people when they're no longer present. When you are out of their sight or when they are angry with you, the emotional connection is severed. They don't hold on to the love they had for you yesterday. In that moment of discard, you literally mean nothing to them. That's why they can move on so fast. It is heartbreaking to watch them with someone new. You see the pictures. They look so happy. They are doing all the things they promised to do with you. You think, wow, I was the problem. They changed for this new person. Let me tell you right now, that is a lie. They are mirroring that new person just like they mirrored you in the beginning. It is a performance. The script is the same, only the actor has changed. They lack the empathy required to give closure. To give someone closure, you have to care about their feelings. You have to understand that your actions caused pain, and you want to alleviate that pain. A narcissist might intellectually understand that you are hurt, but they don't feel it. It's like watching a character cry in a movie they don't like. They just want to change the channel. Sometimes, the lack of closure is a punishment. If you were the one who finally stood up for yourself, or if you caught them in a lie, they are furious. By denying you a goodbye, they are punishing you for daring to see behind the mask. It is the ultimate silent treatment. They want you to suffer in the silence because they feel you injured their ego. And let's be honest, logic has no place here. You are a logical person. You think, if A happens, then B should happen. You are trying to solve a math problem using poetry. It won't work. You can analyze their behavior for years, and trust me, many of us do. But you will never find a logical reason for their cruelty because their behavior is driven by disorder, not logic. Imagine you are waiting at a train station for a train that has already been canceled. You are sitting on the bench, checking your watch, watching other trains go by. The station master knows the train isn't coming, but he won't tell you because he likes watching you wait. That is what your life becomes when you wait for them to give you closure. You are wasting your precious time on a platform that is empty. They also engage in smear campaigns. Instead of telling you why it's over, they tell everyone else a twisted version of the story. You hear from a mutual acquaintance that you were suffocating or unstable. It hurts like hell. You want to call them and scream, "That's not true!" But that is a trap too. If you react, you prove their point that you are unstable. It is a rigged game. You might feel a lot of anger bubbling up right now. Good. You should be angry. Anger is a much more useful emotion than despair. Anger tells you that a boundary was crossed. Anger tells you that you deserved better. Don't suppress that anger, but don't direct it at them. Use it as fuel to rebuild your own life. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt. You start looking through old messages, looking for the moment you ruined it. You analyze your tone, your jokes, your complaints. You have to stop doing that. You didn't ruin anything by being a human being with needs. You cannot ruin the right relationship by asking for respect. The cycle of abuse relies on intermittent reinforcement. That means they treat you like garbage, then they give you a crumb of kindness, then garbage again. If they gave you a clean break, the cycle would break. They thrive on the chaos. They thrive on the will they, won't they energy. Closure is calm. Closure is peace. They are allergic to peace. Think about the last time you actually saw them. Did their eyes look empty? Did it feel like you were talking to a wall? That's because the person you fell in love with was a projection. You fell in love with the potential, not the reality. You are mourning a ghost. You can't get closure from a ghost. So what do? This is the hard part. You have to accept that the apology is never coming. You have to accept that they will never look you in the eye and say, "I hurt you and I am sorry." That realization is painful, but it is also liberating. Once you stop waiting for the delivery, you can stop checking the mailbox. You have to create your own closure. Closure isn't something they give you. It is something you give yourself. It is the moment you decide, "I am done suffering over this." It is the moment you decide that your peace of mind is more important than their explanation. You write the last chapter of the book. You decide how the story ends. This usually involves no contact. And I mean real no contact. Not just not texting, but not looking. Blocking them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere. Don't ask your friends about them. Don't drive past their house. You have to starve the addiction. Every time you check up on them, you are ripping the scab off the wound. Healing is going to be messy. It is not a straight line. One day you will feel like a superhero, and the next day you will be crying because you saw a car that looks like theirs. That is okay. Be gentle with yourself. You are detoxing from a very powerful drug. When you stop asking, "Why did they do this?" and start asking, "Why did I stay?" you begin to take your power back. Not in a blaming way, but in an empowering way. You start to recognize your own vulnerabilities, and you can work on them so that this never happens again. You turn the focus from them back to you. You are enough. You always were. Their inability to see your worth does not decrease your worth. It is like a colorblind person telling you that a rainbow is boring. The rainbow is still beautiful. They just lack the capacity to see it. Do not let their blindness define your brilliance. The windshield of your car is huge, and the rearview mirror is tiny. There is a reason for that. Where you are going is so much more important than where you have been. You have a life to live, dreams to chase, and people to meet who will love you properly. Don't let the ghost of the past haunt your future. So, take a deep breath. Let it out. You are going to be okay. It might not feel like it right now, but you will be. If you found this helpful, or if you are going through this right now, leave a comment below and share your story. This community is here to support each other. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep healing together. You've got this.